There we go. All right, chose 4 because we have 4 days left, including tonight. So class ends this Thursday, 10 p.m., not 11:59. So want to make sure that everybody is aware of that at 10 o'clock. The class will shut down. You will be locked out. No late emails, no pleads for help, no aliens came down and abducted my computer, etc. Can't accept them. Sorry, fair is fair. One thing I do want to point out, in case it's a surprise to everybody, kind of a surprise to me, we have a not so nice storm coming up on the inside of the Gulf. Anybody aware of this? Anybody see this? This nasty storm, soon to be Hurricane Helene, is coming up, and that is supposed to be in our area Thursday, our last day. So please plan accordingly. If you lose internet, you lose electricity, etc., that could impact how much time you have to work on things on Thursday. Unfortunately, I have no control over that, and the class will still shut down at 10 p.m. I'll be affected by it as well. I have a backup generator and I'll be trying to power things on battery. I'll be going out through my cell phone for internet if need be, or it could miss us entirely. The thing is, don't put everything in one basket and plan everything on the very last moment. Okay? Plan ahead. All right? So, yeah, that wasn't the most exciting news to find out. Um, I sent information out earlier. Your grades are posted through week 3. That information went to the campuses and to the DOEs to let them know how well you are doing. I'm required to do that because they come down on me if you guys are not doing where you're supposed to be. Takes a 65% or better to make it through the course. I always get the question, what happens if you don't? You enjoyed it so much the first time, you get to come back. Yay! But hopefully nobody is in that situation. I always tell you, you are in control of your career and your work ethic is your least effort. I have mentioned this before. Remember? How many people remember telling me your work ethic is your lowest amount of effort. So if you're not putting forth effort, that is your work ethic. And so I can't make you do things, and nobody will be able to in your career as well. If you're not putting forth the effort, that's you. And so I would like to think that everybody wants to have the best career, and this is the preliminary to that career. And so if you're missing things, you need to be hustling right now because uh, like I said, 10 p.m. will be moving up fast. Also, if you need me to open things, anybody else that's in that same boat as you, they're making those requests as well. And I do the requests in the order in which I receive them. So if you think that you're not having your requests dealt with immediately, it's because other people are in front of you and they put things off as well. I can only get to them as fast as I can get to them, and I can't handle them any faster. And it's not my fault that other people put things off to the last minute either. All right. So, that being said, we're going to get to getting because we've only got 4 days. Yes, we do meet even on that last day in this class. That last day is going to be very quick, and I need a show of hands from you on how you want that last presentation, that last live class. Now, how many would like to be able to get through that last live class extremely quick? Show of hands. I see one, I see two, I see a couple. Majority's going to rule on this. So, oh, I see some balloons going by there. Okay, so I've seen a few people because I could turn that live class into strictly a recording. And if it's strictly a recording, that means right after midnight on Thursday, that recording will be available and you can go into it immediately, find out what that question is, and answer it as soon as possible. You will not have to wait around until 6 p.m. How many people would prefer to do that? Go into the recording and get that question for themselves. Shane's all for that. Anybody else? I see a couple of people. Anybody else? Otherwise, we will have to wait around till 6 p.m. All right, so I will send out a thing saying that that will be in the recording, and I will do that up ahead of time. So on Thursday, you will not have to wait till 6 p.m. and come into this class. You will have a recording, and you can do it as soon as you want on Thursday, so you can snag that attendance. Good for everybody? Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Wake, come on, it's not that early yet. You shouldn't be asleep. All right. So that'll help you out. That'll give you more time to take care of everything. All right. So let's get to getting because a couple of things we need to get through here. So I'm going to share my screen. Just think after this class, you've only got 2 live sessions with me and then a recording. That should make you all happy. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to view this as it's okay to want the class to end. It's all right. Because that means you should have accomplished something. You should be learning something. A couple of people last week did not make it to uh, their mock interviews. I checked up on anybody I hadn't received a mock interview from, and one that I didn't receive one from, I did get one back. So yay for that. I always check up. A couple people didn't go to their mock interviews at all. One had rescheduled, so they had reached out to me beforehand. That shows professionalism. All right. If you can't make an appointment, you communicate. Communication is a key to everything. Anyone who just sits there and doesn't say a word, that is lack of professionalism. Okay. People who just would rather not approach or communicate in any way, shape, or form, your career is going to be short lived. All right. Saying, I don't want to meet, I don't want to interact with people, I'm going to sit in the welding booth, and they're just because, nope, your career is going to be cut short, and your chances of finding jobs are going to shrink little by little as word gets out that you are not a person that can work amongst other people. Same thing for electricians. They're not going to want to put you in vans with people because people won't want to work with you. Clients are going to complain about you. Same thing with HVAC, that same scenario. Veterinary assistants. You can't work with clients if you can't interact with people. You can't be trusted around people who are working with possibly dangerous animals if you can't communicate with people. You're going to have to use those soft skills, learn how to communicate. So if anything ever goes not quite the way it should, talk to people, let them know what's going on. More information is better in those situations. All right. So everybody work on that communication, especially people who are shy like me. I really would rather not talk to people. I would rather blend into the background. But when it comes to my job, I care about y'all and what you do. And so that's why I communicate. I know my topic and I know what will help you get ahead. And so I give you a lot of information. I want you to pick and choose what works best for you because your career is going to be unique and I need you to find the parts that fit for you. Okay? So we all do that. I want you to really work on doing extremely well on that career because you're in the driver's seat and we're about to put you out on the road. All right? So here we go. We are in week 4. So you got the live conference, and then you got this interesting professional ethics scenario. And this was brought up by one of our newer people here. And there's a video here to watch. And then you're going to define 10 workplace ethics in this video. There's 3 of them that you're going to define, but there's actually 10, I believe, that they talk about in here. So take a look at it and see which ones resonate with you. Now, some people just go through, pick the first 3. Remember, this is really key because you're going to see different things that are in here that can happen at work. Okay. Then you're going to come down here. This one is really key. How many people have already talked to and finished that assignment where you met people in a position of authority, the managers and the people above it? Kind of interesting because we think that they're really not doing a whole lot. I know Shane did really well there, and there were some other people, I'm not seeing their initials up here, that did really well with it. Were you surprised? How many people were surprised at some of the things they had to deal with? Hmm? Yeah, there's things that you wouldn't expect that they have to deal with. They sometimes are counselors, sometimes they have to deal with things that you can imagine people do on the job. And the reason why you don't hear about them is because you're not entitled. You don't need to know. So take a look at these different scenarios and respond. There is no correct answer, but I want you to think about these things. What you would do as a supervisor and how you respond. People are still above you, and your decisions could influence how long you keep your position, especially when it comes to friends and how you treat them in relation to other people. Okay? Case in point, how many people remember our guest speaker, Steve? Anybody remember him? Came in, talked to y'all. You remember him? He fired his best friend on Christmas. I know this story. He fired his best friend on Christmas. How many people think that's cold? Anybody think that's a cold thing to do? Fire your best friend on Christmas. No call, no show. She was a manager, worked for him, managing one of his stores. She was a no call, no show. He had to come in. Chaos was going on and all that. The next day she came in and he said, "What are you doing here?" And she goes, "I'm here to work." And he goes, "You don't have a job anymore." He goes, "You are a no call, no show on a holiday. You left your shift, you left your people, you left them all stranded. You no longer have a job." She left a management position. She left all her benefits, her medical, her dental, her time off, everything. She lost it all. Boom. Lost everything. She didn't talk to him, according to him, for years. Then, as she moved back up in ranks in another store for another company, she called him. And she goes, "I want to thank you." She goes, "I just had somebody do a no call, no show on a holiday, a manager." And she goes, "It reminded me of somebody." And she goes, "And I owe you an apology." She goes, "I never looked at it from your point of view, how hard that had to be." She goes, "'Cause I thought you wouldn't do it because I was your friend." And she goes, "Now I know you had to fire me because I was your friend." So when you're thinking about these things and how you navigate your career and you move up, think how many people are watching you above and below and your actions and the reactions, because this can be a very difficult thing to navigate. How many people have seen people in their work areas move up and the people resent them because now they're above them? How many people have seen this? "Oh, now you're better than us." Yeah, it can be difficult. How many have had it happen to them? You move up and now people you worked with, now they resent you. It could be a tough thing. But remember, you're your business. And you've quickly learned a very strong and important part. They are their business, and in business, you're not necessarily friends. Remember that. And they just told you that. That person you worked with, they just showed you that they weren't a friend, they were a coworker, they were a business partner. So think about that when you make those decisions. Was it $30 each or was it $50 for you? Interesting thought. Some of you chose that $30 each, not knowing if that best friend of yours was going to quit 2 days later. They didn't know that it was you who got them that $30 an hour job. And now you're working $20 an hour less because they quit 2 days later. All your decisions need to be based on what is most beneficial for you. You do have to deal with the conscience, but this is going to help you make some of those decisions. Business isn't easy. It can be very difficult at times. And we all do our best. Just know that we do our best. The other thing is, how many people have looked at your mock interview results? Anybody look at those? Shane? Giovanni? Okay, good, good. Please, if you don't just look at the grade. Look at the sheet that's attached. You'll see it in there. Click on it. Those are the sheets that come back from Career Services. I take the time to attach them because I want you to see what they gave you, what they marked, and you can see any comments if they put them on. Some people do, some people don't, and I add notes on there if needed so that you can see information. So please take the time to look at those to see if there's anything additional on those. Okay. The informational interview, part 2 of 2. This is the one we were talking about where you got information back from those managers. Hopefully you gained some insight there. The career plan, final project. This is a big point. Project, 250 points. I am going to be critical of this. You don't just automatically get 250 points for turning in something that's not worth 250 points, okay? There is a template here that you are to use, okay? If you can't download this, you should have it in your book. If you can't, try to print this out. If not, try to write this out and answer it or type it out and answer it. Okay. If you have kept up with your action plan, that meant your long-term, short-term goals, this will be a lot easier. Put your long-term goals in here. Okay. Your skill set. These are your hard and your soft skills. Okay. That's what you need to put in here. Okay. What certifications do you need? Will your company provide any? Do companies in your area, do they typically provide these things? Okay, what opportunities can you take advantage of? Think of things that might come your way. Okay, what further training might you need for your career? Just list them. Okay, now your action plan. This is where you put your short-term goals. Okay, fill that out and this is done. Okay. That's what that template's there for, so that you can get all 250 points. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? And you should be able to do that. We used to have you just write a long essay. This gives you that plan. The final exam, this final exam we changed this month. It has been reduced and it is all multiple choice pretty much. And so we've reduced it down so that it is more streamlined. Please read the questions carefully. Go slow, read the questions carefully, and don't forget on the home screen, right there under the help, there's that final exam study guide. You can click right on it and you can go through here. Now, the reason why I went through the whole week is because some people will want to work ahead, possibly knock some of these things out, and I want to make sure that you have those available. All right, everybody good so far? Yes, yes? Yep, all right. Okay, so we're going to get to going on here. I've got a bird that wants to join in on the conversation there. And I want to start with this first slide here. And it kind of goes along with what I always say, know what you know what you don't know. And that's very important. But this is something that we call imposter syndrome. And this is a fear that people get, and it's a very real thing that people don't think that they know very much. Okay. So this is what they think that they know. And this is what they think everybody else knows. So they get this fear that they're going to get out on the job and they're not going to know what to do. Okay. How many people have this fear they're going to get to their career, going to get hired, and they're going to get there and they're not going to know what they need to know? Okay. One person. This is a real thing. It really is. You get there that first day and you have this fear that you don't know what to do. Okay. I want you to know you are not alone. This is a very, very real thing. So in reality, what happens, this is the way it is. Okay. I need to move something out of my way here. It's not letting me move it. There we go. So this is you here. Look at this right here. You know all this, plus you know what this person knows, this person, this person, this person. So there's very little that you don't know because you know little bits of what everybody else knows, plus a whole lot of what you know that's unique to you. You have shared common knowledge. You are great. Okay? What you're doing is you're lacking confidence and you're using that self doubt to beat yourself down. Okay? How many people have seen the jokes where the person sits there and they look in the mirror and says, "I art smart, I are good, I are beautiful." Anybody ever see those little skits where the people are, okay, we laugh at them, but it's true. Sometimes we need to take the time and tell ourselves how good we really are. So I've been watching y'all over the 3 weeks, not like in, driving by your house and looking at you creepy through the binoculars, not like that. But I've been watching what you're writing. Okay. I've been seeing you grow and you have been growing. Your confidence grows because it's in your writing. But now you need to push that out there as you venture into your careers. Okay. Has anybody noticed a change in how you perceive yourself a little bit? Anybody? Nobody? Oh, come on, you're making me feel bad. You should see it. Caitlin, I know. I've seen it in your growth. Giovanni, I've seen it in your growth. Uh, Mr. Perez, I've seen it in your growth because I can tell by the way you're writing and you're representing yourself. So if you don't want to admit it on the outside, you're representing yourself better in everything you do. There is no fear or there is no shame in doing better. When we were growing up and we were in school and all that, people didn't want to do too good because they thought of you as a nerd or this or that. Well, let me tell you, those nerds, they make bank. They drive everything we want to drive. They live everywhere we want to live in that. You need to stop that. Being great at doing everything is where you want to be. If you're hanging around the people in the back that joke, okay, grow the you know what up because they're not paying your bills. Okay, so we want to do better and being confident in ourselves and treating ourselves with respect so we learn and we grow. That's what's it. And if you don't believe me, go home and look at the people that you care about, and then you'll know why we want to do better. Everybody know why we want to do better? Look at those faces at home. There we go. Me, I look in the mirror because I'm beautiful and I want to do better for me because I got expensive taste. I got Dollar Tree budget, but I got expensive taste. Not true. I live quite well because I work for what I got. All right, so here we go. First day on the job. Yay. We're going to talk about that first day. Performance evaluations, ways to be safe, and update that professional network. Okay, so your first day can be overwhelming. One thing I'm going to tell you to do, hear me out on this, make sure you know where the bathroom is before you need it, because you may not be able to find someone who can tell you where the bathroom is. Know where that bathroom is, because sometimes things might get overwhelming. You may need to go in there and just get away from people, and you can close that door and you go, oh, thank goodness I'm in here, and you can get a break. Okay, nothing else. Know where the bathroom is. So you're going to meet coworkers, and that alone can be overwhelming, especially if you're shy. How many people get overwhelmed by the number of people you have to meet that first day? I know I do. They only have to meet one person. You have to meet a whole army of people. Okay, get to know the facility, where you need to go, what you need to do, where you have to clock in, etc. Do you need security codes? Which entrance can you use, etc.? Do you need parking passes, dress codes, places that use scrubs, what color scrubs, etc.? Paperwork. Okay, here we go. Right here, you are going need to know these things right here. I-9. No, it's not a highway here that we hate to drive on. I-9, this is your employment eligibility verification. It's to make sure you can work here in the United States. Everybody needs to complete and have this signed in the presence of human resources, okay? So you need to know that you have to sign this in front of a human resources representative, okay? Not that it has to be signed within 2 days. It has to be signed in front of a representative from Human Resources. Okay, now the W-4, you're going to hear lots of people have all kinds of theories about the W-4. Okay, so this is your tax withholding, and it's based on your marital status and your dependents. Now, how many people hear people say, oh, put a 0, put a 1, put a 2? Anybody ever tell you that? You need to be filling out the form properly and putting it down. Because let me tell you, they did a little tax thing a couple years ago. It was named after a president to put more money in your paycheck. But in reality, what it did was it took some of the taxes off. But at the end of the year, guess what? You have to pay those taxes anyway. So it put more money on your paycheck, but it means you pay more taxes at the end because taxes only got moved around. You didn't really get a tax break. You still have to pay the same amount of taxes. They just make you pay it in one lump sum at the end instead of taking it out bit by bit throughout the year. You really didn't get a tax break. They just changed where you put it. So filling out this W-4 form is really critical that you get it right, or what's going to happen is at the end of the year, you're going to pay more in taxes. So be careful. The idea with the W-4, if you fill it out correctly, you're not going to get a big refund, but you're not going to get a lot that you have to pay. The reason why you don't want a big refund, you don't gain interest in the IRS. So the closer you are to 0, the more perfect you are. That means that's the most you're going into your pocket, and hopefully you're putting some into savings will get you the most refund or the most interest rate. Does everybody understand how that W-4 works and why you need to follow what works for you, not put in a 0 or put in a 1 to get the most benefit? Fill it out properly. Now, you'll probably get some benefit forms, but there could be a delay, 60, 90 days for insurance, etc. Check that out, find out when those go into effect. Now, make sure, of course, you're on time. Make sure you're enthusiastic. You might be nervous, but try to be enthusiastic about it, you know? And if they ask you if you're nervous, say, yes, I'm nervous, but it's going to be a great day, etc. You know, let them know you're nervous and they'll help you out. Be positive and excited to be part of the team. This is what you went to school for. This is what you wanted. And if you went just for money, not because you wanted to do this career, it's going to be a little bit rougher on you. Money cannot make a good career. A good career, it's what you want to be, plus the benefits of the money and everything else that goes with it. Okay. If the supervisor comes and says, so how was it? Say, I was nervous, but I'm still excited to do this and I know I'm going to be an asset. Blah, blah, blah. Something along those lines. Let them know you're happy to be here. You made the right choice. But if you need help, right here, I mentioned communication. Ask for it. Okay? Find somebody that you feel comfortable talking to and ask them. Okay. Now, I work remote. I also work on campus too. But if you're remote, make sure you have a dedicated workspace. I have a couple in the house. I like to move around. Okay. Make sure you do those onboarding sessions. How many people hate all those little videos and things you have to sit through? I do. I even have to do them for people, and I know they don't like them. Okay. But you have to learn them. So remember, let's do a little flashback here. Remember when I told you you need to research companies? How many people remember that? Research a company before your interview. So I just read an article. It was in Business Week. Number one reason why the top companies do not call people back or hire people, right? Number one reason, they didn't research our company before we interviewed them. Number one reason, not because of experience, no other reason. They didn't research our company before we hired them. And when we asked questions about our company, they didn't know. Can you believe that? Number one reason they blew the interview, according to Business Week. That's across all careers. Think about that. Okay. So onboarding is an introduction to the company's brand. See, they want you to know their company. They're proud of it. Establish a routine. If you're a remote worker, you don't get to go and just do whatever you want. You have to be online in a place at a time, etc. And you have to communicate and make sure you take care of your physical and mental health. If you're working by yourself all the time, you can go cuckoo. So new tire training, it could be a group or it could be one person. Okay. Make sure that you learn about that company, take notes, and learn everything you can. Ask questions. You might take a tour of the facility. That's how you'll find out about other departments. Okay. Information. What hours am I expected? Who do I call in an emergency? Don't wait for an emergency. What do I do for assistance? How do I log in, etc., etc. So all these questions, think about them during your onboarding session. Don't wait till you need it. Your professional network, update it. LinkedIn, everything. Let them know I'm now working here, etc., etc. Update your resume. How many people update their resume every time they get a new job? Anybody? Okay, couple of people. You know why? Because you never know when somebody needs a job or offers a job. I'll call people up. It's like, hey, this job offer is available right now. Do you have a current resume? Are you interested in? I need it. They send it over to me because when I say I need it, that means within the hour. I don't have time for you to be updating one because that means it's a hot job and it could be a significant improvement over where you're currently at. Now, this one here, a lot of people miss this on the final. I'll tell you, a performance evaluation is designed to evaluate the work and provide productive feedback. And a form will be used. Okay. Now, let me go back here. So, not only does it evaluate your actual job performance, but it is also interaction with other employees. And that's becoming more of a thing. They know you can do the job, but they want to know how you interacted with the rest of the team. And now it's become even more when you get your evaluation, they send a little evaluation out to random people in the building or wherever you work, and they ask them to rate you on how well you are able to work with them. Because if you cannot work well with others, that negatively affects your overall performance now. Teams are becoming very, very, very important as things are becoming much more complex. Now, in workplace etiquette, keep your voice low on the phone. How many people do you know walk around with their cell phones out in front of them and they talk into the speaker so that you can hear everything? Anybody see these people? They walk around like this. Why? We don't need to know your business. We don't care about you. We don't love you or your news. Keep your voice low on a phone. Use headphones if listening to music if you can. Some of your careers, it's too dangerous to listen to music. Not to mention if you're working with electric or welding or something, that can spark to those headphones and it can fry you. Okay? Turn off or silence digital devices. Make sure your area is clean, organized, and uncluttered. Okay. We used to have to do clean desks when we left. If our desk wasn't clean, we got a write up. Second time, write up. Third time, fired because they had cleaning crews that came in. And if your desk was dirty, they went clean that department. Personal items in a drawer, closet, locker, wherever they tell you, and dispose of food or beverages appropriately if you're allowed to have them. Okay. Now, safety. Falling hazards, lifting hazards, material hazards, okay? Make sure you know what PPE, personal protective equipment is needed, such as hard hats, safety glasses, gloves. The most common workplace accidents, though, number one is falling. You can't stay upright. Make sure you close drawers completely. People leave a drawer open, especially bottom drawers. Somebody comes around the corner, trips over it. Okay? Do not stand on chairs or boxes to reach for an object. Make sure cords, rugs, and mats are flat. They're secure, and make sure every area is clean and free of hazards. Now, back injuries. This is a big one. Make several small trips. Don't try to impress anybody with how much you can lift. Big whoop, you can lift a lot, okay? Trust me, when you get older, you're going to regret it. Make a bunch of small trips. Use dollies, hand carts, any type of carts, things like that. Your employer usually encourages it, but we get all macho-y and we want to try to lift it. Look what I can lift. Not a smart idea. Make sure you lift with your legs. Okay, so squat down, lift with your legs, not with your back. Okay. and never carry items that block your vision. Don't stack things up above your face and try to look around. It's not smart, okay? And material storage hazards, that means don't stack things up on top of shelves, on top of things, on top of things. Okay, that's also a material storage hazard. Now I love this. Look at this. See here, you're supposed to look straight across. Your elbow's supposed to be nice and straight across. You're supposed to have a footrest. I sit at my desk, I look like the letter O. This is called ergonomics. You want to keep everything in alignment, and it's designing and arranging things so you can use it efficiently and safety. That's ergonomics. That's what you're supposed to do so you don't slouch and everything. How many people use laptops laying them on their lap and laying down, laying on the floor, all slouched over? We are our worst enemies, but this is what ergonomics is, and that's going to be a question that's out there. And you can help out by using wrist rests for keyboards, chairs that are designed to keep you upright and supported, back supports when you're lifting things and standing, stuff like that. So that's what ergonomics is. It's a study to help you do things better. So everybody good so far? Yes, yes? Yep. Okay, so question for today. A couple of things real quick. Everybody's going to get everything done Thursday by 10 o'clock? Yes? Promise me? Because I can tell you, DOEs are watching. They're seeing who's going to finish those final exams and those projects. So please keep up with those. And here comes your question. I want to know what your biggest first day anxiety is. What do you fear most on that first day? And I want you to explain that. Okay. So tell me, what is that first day anxiety and explain what that is in detail? Meaning, don't just say, I fear this. Explain why you fear that. All right. And that is your question today. All right. Y'all are doing really, really good. You're close to the end. So please do that. You've got your microphone on just so you're aware, Mr. Perez. So there you go. I didn't want you saying anything you might regret. So that is it. We've got 2 more live classes, then 1 recording on Thursday. So finish big, finish awesome, keep it going. You're almost there and you will be done. All right. Y'all have a great evening and we will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Have a good one.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Professor. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.